this lingerie, curl up in a ball with something hey. In that LA, with nothing but your t-shirt. I'm all by myself with nothing but your t-shirt. With nothing but your t-shirt. 'Cause I miss you, 'cause I miss you. With nothing but your t-shirt. Said I miss you, baby. Trying to decide if I really wanna go out tonight. I couldn't even leave my apartment. I'm stripped down, torn up about it. Nothing feels right when I'm not with you. Sick of this stress and these Jimmy Choo's. Taking them home 'cause I'm feeling full. Trying to dress up when I'm missing you, missing you. Step out of this lingerie, curl up in a ball with something hey. In that LA, nothing feels right when I'm not with you. Sick of this stress and these Jimmy Choo's. Taking them off 'cause I feel a fool. Trying to dress up when I'm missing you. 'Cause I miss you. In this lingerie, curl up in a ball with something promise if you do. In that I'll be a man with nothing but your t-shirt on. Say I got nothing but your t-shirt on. 'Cause I wanna be close to you. I remember when you would like to see me with nothing but your t-shirt on. I'm looking for a lover, not a friend.
Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street, this is
ABC 105.1 FM.
And yo, LIB, what's up? This is your boy, the Block S305 on ABC 105.1. Don't tune up, baby. I'm on.
Yo, what's up, my people? Man, how you doing, man? It's your boy, Lil J, so your cypher killer. And I'm like down with my brother, 305, represent the ABC Radio 105.1.
Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, the man report things like that. Black at 305 on the air on ABC 105.1. Yeah, this.
You want music, hip hop, hip hop, R&B, lovers rock, whatever music you want. Now tune in to ABC 105.1. Let me get mixed things that run funny here.
ABC.
Black as shows, yeah.
Montserrado,
Bome,
Cape Mount,
Papalu,
Mangivi,
Bong,
and everywhere you go. This is ABC Radio 105.1 FM.
I love ABC Radio. I love ABC Radio.
I'm looking for a lover, not a friend. Somebody who can be there when I need someone to talk to. I'm looking for someone who won't pretend. Somebody not afraid to say the way they feel about you. And I'm looking for someone who understands how I feel. Someone who can keep it real and who knows the way I like to have it my way. And I'm looking for someone who takes me there, wants to share, shows he cares. Thinking you're the one that I've been waiting for. Is it you? Is it you? Maybe you're the one I've been waiting for. Could you be the one for me? Could you be the one I need? Is it you? Is it you? Maybe you're the one I've been waiting for. Could you be the one for me? Could you be the one I need? I'm looking for someone to share my pain.
If you want music, hip-hop, hip-hop, R&B, lovers rock, whatever music you want, now tune in to ABC 105.1. If you get mixed things are going on the air.
ABC.
Like a soldier now.
Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broader Buchanan Street. This is
ABC 105.1 FM.
Yo, LIB, what's up? It's your boy Block at 3 and 5 on ABC 105.1. Don't tune in. Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, them are reborn things like one. Block at 3 and 5 on the air on ABC 105.1. Yeah, dude.
Yo, what's up, my people? Man, how y'all doing, man? It's your boy, Jason, the Cypher Killer. And I'm like down with my brother, Trio 5, representing the ABC Radio 105.1.
Yo, LIB, what's up? It's your boy Block at 3 and 5 on ABC 105.1. Don't tune, Papa. I'm on.
I love ABC Radio.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Antonio, Miss Royalty Baby, and I want everyone in life to know that I love
and everywhere you go. This is ABC Radio 105.1 FM.
Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street. This is
ABC 105.1 FM.
live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street. This is
ABC 105.1 FM.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Antonio, Miss Royalty Baby, and I want everyone in Liberia to know that I love listening.
105.1 FM.
Montserrat, Home, Cape Mount, Wapaloo, Mangibi, Home, and everywhere you go. This is ABC Radio 105.1 FM.
And so indeed, this is ABC Radio 105.1. And we transmit to you live and direct from the King's Building of the nation's capital, Monrovia. And again, I'd like to say good evening on the midweek like this. Welcome to another presentation, the midweek presentation of the program Traffic Talk. Well, Traffic Talk is a regular feature presentation always on this radio, Mondays to Fridays, 6:15 to 6:45. 45 means a presentation. Bring you those issues as it relates to the traffic, bringing our drivers to the consciousness of doing the right thing within the traffic. Also in telling our pedestrians and our passengers how to behave whenever they are in a motor vehicle. And so I'd like to say welcome today. It's midweek. The young folks of today say it's WCW, as in Woman Crush Wednesday. And the old boys and girls says it's Ladies Night. So on the midweek, you know, it's lots of activities, lots of driving, lots of moving from one point to another, especially when you have to treat that lady right. And so welcome to it right here. The time check is 17 minutes on the flip side. 6 o'clock. What a way I like to say a pleasant welcome to the midweek edition. The name is Richard Fagans, your number one driver, your number one kicker guy and pimping guy, that pedestrian with the white king is me. That senior citizen trying to get from one point to another is me. I represent all of them. Those vulnerable ones, those street vendors within the traffic, I am their representative. And so welcome to it right here. But first, this program has been brought to you through the kind courtesy of the program department of the Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation, ABC Radio 105.1. Let me say good evening to all of our viewers watching us now on YouTube and Facebook Live. This one's listening on our online radio platforms. I'd like to say good evening and welcome to Traffic Talk on this program. As usual, we bring you our regular stuff, and that is the theme song Carolyn played. And we build you up with the traffic. Have you been abreast with the traffic congestions to where you will be headed? And then followed by our driving quotation, safety tapes, and speaking to the consciousness of our drivers, and then calling a day because time is never of essence on this presentation. And so before I go further, this edition is dedicated to a couple of folks listening at this hour. Let me do it as our listener of the day has to do with, it's dedicated to Mr. and Mrs. Hennings Vavley and Sis Rita Fakins Vavley. They're always following this broadcast. I believe they're at the Doazon area on the Roberts International Highway. Those two are always listening. And they say because of the pieces of advice that we give them on this platform, they usually use it to apply those good driving practices. That's a plus for us, right? And so let's go straight into it by bringing you up to speed with traffic congestions in the area. This one, there was not really much traffic headed to town, but I know going back, it's going to be a bit tense and congested. So let's start with the Gabriel Starkers Bridge. As usual, it's always this traffic around that point. So if you're heading that way around the Bourgeois Island, using the Gabriel Tuckers Bridge from downtown towards that part, get yourself some peanuts, some plenty chips or whatever it is you can use to munch on, get water, because it's a bit congested for a little bit. Until you pass the Claratown Store Junction, then you'll be able to easy to go further. And if you're headed towards town from the Broadville area, know that there's this traffic around the beer factory leading to the Mumbletown Junction. It's always a regular thing. And there's a go slow between Mumbletown and Cowell's Bridge and crossing to Logantown area. And from Logantown crossing to Mumbletown going to Cowell, there's a go slow because of the bridge is so small, and so we have to be a bit patient. So we are around those areas. Please make sure as a driver, exercise patience. Let's take a trip at the 20th Street, 19th Street, and 17th Street. There's a build-up headed from 17th Street towards the 20th Street around the back route of the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital. The back road going towards the beach side. There's always a go slow. Sometimes if there's no street light, it's a go slow. If there's a street light, it's much tense. So if you're headed that way, headed towards the Painesville Airfield, Old Road, and other parts that connects this road, know that whenever you reach there, you're going to go slow a little bit or be delayed for the 10 to 15 minutes. That's the essence of it. There's this huge traffic congestion building up always around the slope that leads downward to the Ministry of Health and the National Public Health Institute that is, and connecting with the 72nd Boulevard Junction, the SKD Boulevard Junction. Reason is there's a road construction work being done further up at the EOW area, so there's always this go slow. So this is an alternative route I'm about to provide you in case you are headed towards rehab. There's no need for you passing on the main boulevard. You can just branch out from the back road and make use of the Chucky Tillers Avenue that connects with Kingrave, and then you can push further up There's always a go slow on the Roberts International Highway Road that leads from EOWA Sports Stadium, SKD Sports Stadium, towards the SKD, the EOW Hospital, Rehab, Total Junction, fast past the President House, and as far as the RLJ Hotel area. Reason is the road construction work been done, and that's the reason why there is a go slow around those areas. So you as a driver, as a passenger, know that you're not going to be reaching so fast because development comes with lots of adjustments. There is this traffic always around the Parker Payne Junction because of the road construction work been done, though it has been completed. But it's a very big crossing intersection. It's a cross intersection that crosses from one road to another and linking the main boulevard. So it's a multiple crossing point. And really being a very densely populated area, commercial hubs, you always find cars going to those points, and lots of vehicles, motorcyclists, and pimping guys plying the spots. So whenever traffic is held at that point, it becomes very, very, very congested. So please brace yourself. There's this traffic always around the Aminga market at about this time. Reason is people are flying from out of town, coming to the town with the basic commodities that we all can use, and then the street vendors always tend to come closer to the roadside in the evenings, making it difficult for cars to pull over or pass through. So brace yourself. And also, if you're headed around the JPN Freeway, there's always this go slow. Not really a traffic around the Bartnersville Junction. It's a go slow. Reason is, Bartnersville has lots of people dwelling in these parts. So it's a go slow. So those are our traffic updates. Quick, let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll bring you up to speed with our driving quotation and our driving safety tips right here. Again, the program is dedicated to Hennes Vavli and Sis Rita Fagins Vavli of the Dwazin community there, regular listeners. I'd like to say good evening to you too. Stay tuned. I'll be back and I'll play you something here by Cassie. You know it's ladies' night tonight, and so we got to make the ladies feel special. So is it you? Going to be the 3 or 5 date on the Wednesday night. I'm the #1 driver. Let go.
I'm looking for a lover, not a friend. Somebody who can be there when I need someone to talk to. I'm looking for someone.
Live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street, this is
ABC 105.1
What
FM.
they feel about you. And I'm looking for someone who understands how I feel. Someone who can keep it real and who knows the way I like to have it my way. And I'm looking for someone who takes me there, wants to share, shows he cares. Thinking you're the one that I've been waiting for. Is it you? Is it you? Maybe you're the one I've been waiting for.
live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street. This is
ABC 105.1 FM.
Could you be the one I need? I'm looking for someone to share my pain. Someone who I can run to, who will stay with me when it rains. Someone who I can cry with through the night. Someone who I can trust, whose heart is right. And I'm looking for someone.
live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street. This is
ABC 105.1 FM.
The way I like to have it my way. And I'm looking for someone who takes me there, wants to share, shows he cares. Thinking you're the one that I've been waiting for. Is it you? Is it you? Maybe you're the one I've been waiting
live from the King's Building in Monrovia, Broad and Buchanan Street. This is
Is it you? Is it you? Maybe you're the one I've been waiting for. Could you be the one for me? Could you be the one I need? Take for granted
All right, welcome back to it right here. Time is 27 minutes past 6 o'clock. Well, if you are just tuning in, a reminder you listen to your number one road safety and public safety program, that is Traffic Talk, a program designed here by the Programs Department at the Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation, a program designed to speak to the consciousness and enlightenment of our drivers. And so today is another edition. Matter of fact, it's the midweek edition. And so quickly, this is bring you our driving quotation for the day. That says, your purpose when driving is not to arrive at your destination safely or quickly. Your purpose when driving is to impress your personality on the road. How do you impress your personality on the road? You are a driver. By impressing the personality, has to do with doing those rightful things within the traffic, slowing down at every crosswalk, every intersection where there's a blind crosswalk, making sure that you be helpful to those pedestrians that are vulnerable. That includes the visually impaired, the crippled, the crippled are as in the disabled people, those senior citizens, those students, those younger ones who are crossing and just don't know the way around crossing. Driving at night is about communication with your lights. The reason we chose this quotation for the day is because we are approaching the night time, and we know how difficult it is to drive these days, especially now that we are in the rainy season, so night driving becomes a bit tense and difficult. And so you, as a driver at night, make sure to always communicate with your lights. With your lights being visible to other drivers, help them to know that there is a moving object ahead and they have to adjust my lane or my speed. In the absence of not communicating with your lights at night, it makes it dangerous for other drivers to have you been seen, and then there's going to be this accident thing you wouldn't want to be a part of. So always it's important to drive with your light. Like yesterday edition, we gave a piece of advice to our drivers and our motorists. This does not really only apply to cars, but all motorists. That includes tricycles nowadays in our society, pen guys, I see motorbikes, and new drivers. It is important for you to always communicate with your lights. Make sure you check them before nighttime comes. 6:30 is the time check from the nation's capital, Monrovia, and this is Traffic Talk Show in case you are just tuning in. And so let's bring you our traffic safety tip quickly right now. And our traffic safety says it, obey all traffic rules. Obeying all traffic rules has to do with even the police guy there posted at every intersection to regulate the traffic. You have to respect him because he becomes a traffic rule. When he tells you stop, you need to stop. If he tells you slow down, you need to slow down. And wherever you see your speed limits, make sure you adjust your gas pedal and ride and drive within those speed limits. Take for instance in the community area, as we call them, residential area, so to speak, you as a driver have to maintain that 20 to 25 miles per hour driving speed. Reason is kids cross from one point to another. Even older folks might just run the point from one place to another. If you are running at that excessive speed, you're going to take a life of somebody who was not prepared to go. So always observe our traffic rules. For those of you who always boycott the red light is there to save you and aid other folks to cross or to do other stuff. So all driving rules, as a driver, a professional chauffeur, or a private car driver, what makes you different to impress other drivers on the road by showing this distinction by observing all traffic rules. In the absence of that, you are called a jackrabbit driver. You wouldn't want to be called that because you know what a jackrabbit driver is? My homeboy Orlando C and I used to refer to guys who just do things randomly and abruptly within the traffic as jackrabbit driver. We don't want to say things to hurt your feelings. Or just say you are a jackrabbit driver, meaning you don't have a sense and you just don't respect driving rules and practices, and you just this guy that do your own thing. Slow down at intersection, crosswalks, school zones, hospitals, and residential areas. Reason is those are areas where people that are vulnerable, unlike you, being protected in that moving object, be a keke, and our bike guys, and this is for you guys. You guys run excessively in your area. And I will speak to my community because where I live, you find people tending to dig these holes just to slow these motorcyclists down. A driver will not just run in the third gear in a community. Only these motorcyclists run excessively within community. I know they try to impress those girls or guys they know within the community, but it's not something good to be done, because when you're into a community, the reason you have to slow down is it is a residential area. Folks might be leaving or crossing from one point to another, run to a shop to get something. A mom is sending her kid, his or her kid, a parent is sending his or her kid to get something. And then that kid is just so excited to go and running, unknowingly that the bike is running at an excessive speed. That kid goes about bang a bump into you. What happened next? There's an accident that causes some problem, and there's a casualty there, either for the kids or for somebody else. So please make sure to slow down at every intersection, crosswalks, school zones, hospital zones, residential areas. And the reason is you try to protect lives and property. And this is often been done by our drivers in the evening hours because of the fact they don't want to help folks. They don't want to help the fellow driver, and it's called tailgating. Bumper to bumper, we call it in Africa. But the rightful word that applies to it into driving is called tailgating. And tailgating is when a driver drives too close behind another car or a vehicle, or a motorist drives so close to another object. Take for instance, you're on a slope like Gabriel Tucker's Bridge or the Snapper Hill or Crown Hill, and there's a traffic, and then you tailgate so close to another guy, and then he fails and move backwards. What happened? Tell me. It's going to be a deadly accident and destruction of a motor vehicle or an object, and life's going to be taken away because of the negligence of the driver who did not listen to traffic talk to avoid tailgating in these tight spaces. According to the driving rule, always leave a one-car space between you and the car ahead of you. Reason is, some cars are faulty. Some cars malfunction in certain areas. So whenever you don't tailgate, you protect yourself. Whenever you leave that car space and notice this car is trying to come backwards, with your reflexes and your instincts, you can switch from one point to another as a driver. So tailgating is prohibited under the driving rules and laws. There is no such thing as bump up the bumper driving. You always like to leave a mistake, leaving your mind the mistake of a car being faulty and a driver who doesn't know his way in and out. Not all drivers know how to balance a car on a hill, on a slope, or an inclined plane. So tailgating is prohibited in the driving rules. Always learn as a driver to keep your car in a perfect and a good running shape. How do you keep your car in a perfect and a good running shape? That is by checking all of your electronics. That helps you drive at night or throughout the day, like your wipers, your brakes, your lights, checking your rear and side view mirror, make sure they are then cleaned properly, and make sure all of your tires are okay, because these things help you to drive efficiently without a problem. So you as a driver, always make sure to make it a part of you. In the morning, spend some time with your car. It's called the flower check, or some drivers say it's the basic service routine maintenance. It helps you to know your vehicle or whatever motor you drive or ride before getting out there. And whenever you understand your vehicle, you'll know when to do, what to do, and how to adjust yourself should in case any problem arises within the traffic. And lastly, always give an indication before switching lanes. Often at times, drivers and riders will agree with me. A guy is on the express lane, right? Driving excessively at a speed. But because his passenger tell him that I'm coming down right here at Fish Market Junction, that driver being so much in his, we're all calculating properly, we'll just switch his lane, we're all communicating with the other driver in the back that I want to go and park and put this passenger. The reason why you use your indicators to switch lanes is to communicate with the driver before or in the back of you that I'm switching lane please be aware. And always when you use an indicator, even when you try to give that bright light double time to a guy that you want to pass, always learn to wait for the other driver's approval before switching from one lane to another. You have communicated with the guys with your indicator that you want to go to another lane, and then if you don't communicate properly, the next driver will not all drivers predict and anticipate things ahead of them. So always learn to apply those driving rules to yourself in your driving practices and become a better driver and doing things differently. And to our passengers, please don't learn to always put the drivers in rush. You guys are often at times contributors to accidents and malpractices a driver does. I can never be in a car and a driver uses the turn lane regardless of the traffic. Reason is it is wrong, it is prohibited under the Liberian traffic law. So in case you use the turn lane and there's a car coming at a very excessive speed, like a truck that uses an air brake, before that driver pumps that brake for the air to hold, what happens to you and your passengers? So learn to exercise patience. What God has for you, as usual, like we say on this platform, certainly you will get. To our street vendors, this one selling down the Ministry of Health. It's a big supermarket, I know. You guys try to be resourceful to help folks who want to get things along the way, but hey, your safety is paramount to us and that of you. So always make sure to check your surroundings before running within the middle of the road to do business and do that transaction. To our pedestrians crossing and using the yellow line. The yellow line is not really safe for you to stand on. It's a lane separator that indicates to the driver there is no overtaking here. It's not a point like a crosswalk. Always learn to not be so tired and exhausted to go to the crosswalk. Going to the crosswalk will send that communication to the driver or the riders that, hey, these folks wants to cross. And at night, when you're not in those reflective colors, don't learn to stand in the middle of that road. It's dangerous for you, and it poses a great threat for you and that of your life. Pedestrians always learn to make sure you look left and right before crossing. Make sure you have a perfect view into a 20 or 50 meters ahead before crossing. Reason is, you want to make sure there is no moving object before running across the road. And when you do that, you protect yourself from harm and danger. And to our motorists, please learn to respect the blind, the visually impaired, the disabled, those vulnerable citizens who are unable to be so swift as you and I. Remember one thing, you will be a point in time a vulnerable citizen, you'll be a senior citizen too one day, and a younger kid will be driving. You will expect that kid to respect you, and I will be so old and come to you and say, hey, remember when you used to drive? You know, you used to help people on the crosswalk, slow down for them. It's your turn. So what you do today, karma has a way of circling it back to you. So if you are driving today and always learn not to help people, remember one day you were aged and there will be a time and you want others to help you. So what you do today might be done to you tomorrow. So always learn to respect the crosswalk, respect the white king, respect the wheelchair, respect those little kids coming from school, crossing from one point to another. Respect those pregnant ladies crossing. You as a motorist, be a biker or tricyclist or driver, must learn to respect these things. Why is it so? Because they are vulnerable. They just cannot help and protect themselves. You are within an object or on an object that protects you. So learn to aid them and help them. And so let's quickly recap our driving quotation for the day, because time is of essence. At 7 o'clock this evening is the news, and very shortly at 7:45 our commercials, followed by the reading of our public service announcements. And so our quotation says, your purpose when driving is not to arrive at your destination safely or quickly. Your purpose when driving is to impress your personalities on the road. Driving at night is about communications with the lights. It's very important. And so let me just recap our this show was dedicated to Mr. and Mrs. Hennings Vavli. impressing us. It's Rita Fagans Valley there on the Dwyzon area. I was listening to this program. I'd like to say good evening to two of you. Our listeners of the day has to do with Sis Dorcas Momo of 72nd Boulevard. The guys at the 305 Bourbon Saloon, Raga E and Cooper. Our rider of the day is Robert Benin, one of Liberia's best motorcyclists. On that note, folks, I'd like to draw down the curtains on today's presentation. My name is Martin Fagans. Talk to you on another presentation. Stay safe, drive safe, protect lives and property by being different as a driver, and that's how it is you impress people on the road. Goodbye.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Antonio, Miss Royalty Baby, and I want everyone in Liberia to know that I love listening.
105.1 FM.